another lesson in Vedic astrology. The topic of this video is who are the good planets and who are the bad planets, the friends and enemies of Gemini Ascendant or Mithuna Lagna. So if you are born in this Lagna, then in your horoscope you will have a special mark over here, because this zone or this place in the horoscope is called Gemini. So this zone is called Gemini or Mithuna. We have some special mark like this because in the entire horoscope this is the most important reference point. There are several ways of doing this, but the easiest way is to write house number 1, because that is your first house. So once you know the first house, then you know this is the second, 11 and 12. So first let's deal with the enemies or the obstructive planets, the planets that cause a lot of tension to the person. So the most important or the number 1 enemy planet or the functional malefic for a person who has the ascendant here is Mars. That is because Mars is the ruler of this house, which is the 6th house. So 6th house is a bad house. And Mars is also the ruler of this house. So right, Mars here, and he is the lord of the 11th. So if any planet owns the 6th house, then it is considered bad. And if any planet owns the 11th house, then also it is considered bad by that rule. Now if a planet rules together 2 of these houses, 6 or 11, then this particular planet is the most negative or the most powerful functional malefic for this Lagna. So if you want to know what are the bad houses, it's always the lords of 3, 6 and 11. They are bad. So you can see here that Mars is the ruler of the 6th and the 11th. 2 bad houses, then it is confirmed it is bad. So Mars is the number 1 enemy. The next enemy or number 2 is Jupiter. That is because Jupiter owns this place. So you can write here Jupiter and Jupiter. Okay. Jupiter owns the 7th house and the 10th house. Normally these are not bad houses, but in this context it changes because Jupiter is the lord of the 7th house and the lord of the 10th, and whenever a good planet or what is called a natural benefic owns Kendras, then it is suspicious, it loses its the good side of the planet. So it no more can be classified as a good planet because it loses its natural beneficence. So, and in this case, it also becomes the lord of the 7th house, and the 7th house is also known as the Marakasthana or the death inflicting house. That is the reason why we say that Jupiter is the second most powerful functional malefic planet for a person born in Mithuna Lagna. Then the next one is the Sun. That is because the Sun rules this house, the 3rd house. So you can see here 3rd means bad, and since Sun owns only 1 house, then there is no need to look any further. So it is really bad. Okay. Venus is the one and only friend, or what we call the pure functional benefic for a Mithuna Lagna person is just Venus alone, and that is because Venus owns this house. And this is the 5th house, one of the most auspicious houses, and Venus has the Mulatrikona or the special point of Venus here. It's called the Mulatrikona. So wherever the Mulatrikona of a planet falls, that house is more important or considered more seriously than the other house. So Venus also rules the 12th house. Moon owns this house, which is the 2nd house. The 2nd house is a Marakasthana, like the 7th house. So therefore, moon mostly gives good results, but when it comes to health related issues of your life, then the moon can be a dangerous planet. But that is only rare, it doesn't happen all the time. So the other times, moon is not so bad. When the moon sub-period comes within a dasha of a bad planet, like maybe Jupiter, then it can become very bad. So that's the reason why we haven't placed it either here or here, because you will have to look further and decide what is the role of this particular planet. Now Saturn rules these two houses. Okay, so Saturn rules these two houses, 8 and 9. One bad house and one good house. And so we must have placed it here because Saturn is the ruler of the 9th and the Mula Trikona of Saturn falls here. So why didn't Maharshi Parasara say that Saturn is a good planet? That is because normally Saturn is a bad planet, generally considering his nature. So this is where he is the Lord of the 8th, he will give the negative results too. So that is the reason why he has, Maharshi Parasara has not considered Saturn as benefic, even though he is the Lord of the 9th. You can say that he is 66% good and 33% bad. So how you will use this information is, in a particular horoscope, let's say if Saturn is here in the 12th house, then it has to be given, it must be said that Saturn is a bad planet, because already he is the Lord of the 8th and then he is in the 12th. So he is trying to give more bad results. So all these things must be done on a one-to-one basis in the chart. What happened to Mercury? Mercury is the Lord of this house and also the Lord of this house. So the Lord of Lagna has not been listed as a friend. That is because normally Mercury is considered as a good planet, and because he is the owner of the 1st house and the 4th house, he also suffers to some extent the Kendradipatya dosha, which is because Mercury is owning 2 Kendras, 1 and 4, and that's the reason why Maharshi Parasara has not put him either here or here, but he definitely is not a bad planet. More of the good things are attributed to Mercury, but we can't be very sure about the results of Mercury because he is the owner of 1 and 4, which is an angular house. So this is how Maharshi Parasara has described the role of each planet, all the 7 planets. You may wonder why we have not spoken about Rahu and Ketu. Whenever we deal with the functional benefic and malefic planets, we do not talk about Rahu and Ketu, because Rahu and Ketu have to be handled in a different way. They don't have a constant nature by themselves. They get influenced by planets who are with them. They get influenced with planets who are aspecting them, and then they get a lot influenced by which house they occupy. So many rules are there. That is the reason when we are dealing with the functional benefic and malefics of each lagna, we are not discussing Rahu and Ketu. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and in case you have any doubts, please ask them, and whenever I find the time I will answer them for you.